I wanted to ask you about the teacher, and I want Bobby to get this picture up. There's a teacher in Canada who's a trans teacher.
With the giant tits, yes. It's like everybody, the same fucking stories, everybody.
It's the same story.
Giant tits, yes.
What
is she doing in that classroom?
Well, no, I mean,
it's the same thing.
I think
last week it was the LA school system saying that food is, and your bit on it was hysterically funny.
Thank you.
But the thing, and I listened to your bit, I just laughed and laughed. About let's tell kids that all the foods are the same.
Why
There's
not?
No difference between the foods.
Sure.
It was the best take on it I ever heard.
Thank you.
But that thing, which is just somebody who works at LA Unified went like this.
Right.
And then Kablowy.
Yes.
And so then I listened to some other podcasts that I actually like, but it was a very serious discussion.
No.
Do we need this?
Yeah.
And it goes around the bases and everybody takes a turn.
Well,
so now it's like, who's got to take the giant
the
tit
tits
lady
are so big. Here's the thing. I could ignore the story if they weren't that big. They're so massively big that this person wants you to discuss it.
Yeah, but she doesn't need the whole planet Earth to discuss it.
You don't get tits that big if you don't think there's
everybody
a chance.
on Earth. You want them to be able to see seen from space.
She wants. There's no way with getting these tits that
I know,
she
man,
didn't.
but people have a right to be fucking stupid.
Yes.
People have this is the problem right now is there's no local stupidity.
Yes. That's
There's
a good point.
localized stupidity.
Yeah.
Like there was the woman in somewhere also Canada.
Localized stupidity.
No, it all leaks out.
It's global.
If you do something stupid, you are gonna fucking die from shame.
Right.
Because there's gonna be Joy Reid.
Right.
And eventually Putin.
Right.
Will say that they shouldn't have let that woman in the classroom.
Look at these big tits.
It will get there.
That's how he's motivating his army.
No one gets to just be like, this. It's just the same as like fucking. There's no coffee shop down the street.
Right.
It's just Starbucks. It doesn't matter where you are.
Right.
So it's not like what I like about or whatever fucking Eugene, Oregon is that coffee place I used to go. No, it's
right.
You know what I like about Eugene, Oregon? The same thing as the airport in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
It's just the Starbucks.
Yeah.
So no one gets to have a little local culture with there's that weird person down there, like that woman who was like the NAACP chapter head who was white.
Yeah, Rachel Dolezal.
Yeah. Oh, see, you know her name. And
what I have to my job.
She should have been able.
Yeah.
I'm not chastising you for knowing her name.
Of course.
You're the only end user that's worthwhile for any of this stuff for me. Right. But that woman should have been able to be weird in that chapter of NAACP.
I said let Alec Baldwin's wife pretend to be Spanish. I said, let her pretend to be black.
I don't know about that.
No, sure.
Yeah.
Her name's hilarious. She's pretending to be a rich Spanish lady. She's not LARPing as a maid. She's not on all fours. She's not cleaning floors. She's pretending to be a rich Spanish. Do you know the difference between a rich Brazilian woman and a rich Jewish woman? Not that much difference. So I was like, just let her put on an accent. She just wants to have an affectation.
Yeah.
She wants to have, she goes to these parties, these rich white cunts every day. She wants to be a little different. She wants to stand out. And her husband's Alec fucking Baldwin. He just dominates all the news. So like, just for her to be like, okay, just for something, for somebody to go, and where are you? Oh, where are you from? And she goes, Seville. It's just something fun for her.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, and also she wants to be international.
That's right.
She married a man who's an international celebrity and, gun the guy.
So, I mean, I've always been, I'm for letting everyone pretend to be everything.
Yes. But then you have folks like the kids in Wisconsin, I think it was.
Yeah.
Who were taking a class picture and somebody said, do a Nazi salute as a joke. And they're kids on the planet Earth in the middle of Wisconsin with a lot of empty space around them.
Yes.
And they're living in a town that doesn't benefit from a global community. They're just in a little place.
They're in a little cow
and
town.
they want to make a dumb joke.
Yes. And they do the Nazi salute.
Go ahead and freeze frame this and meme, I knew it. He's a Nazi. Go ahead.
Right.
I can take it.
You can take it. But those
those kids, they're just, I mean, God, the shit you said when you were in junior high school.
Yeah.
And then somebody went,
there it is.
Throw up a Sikh. Oh, now we're doing it.
Yeah.
Now we're fucking, let's give that another, everyone in that picture was like, thank God that died down. And now we're bringing it back. It's a nightmare. It's a never ending nightmare. I mean, comedy is a terrible part of this cycle.
Well, it's a terrible part.
But these kids, and then fucking people from fucking Simon Wiesenthal is going, or whoever the fuck.
Yeah. They're like, it's like Auschwitz all over again.
Yeah, it's just like, this is, I mean, come on, let them do a dumb thing over there.
Yes. Yeah, well, it's what you really hit on it brilliantly with that term, localized stupidity.
Yeah, that doesn't exist anymore.
And the idea that people need to be stupid in their local town and they need to have somebody go, hey, you're an idiot. And it doesn't need to be national news. And it doesn't need to be a cultural moment or international news.
No.
It just needs to be something that's kind of quickly forgotten.
Right, but what's not going to stop any of that is that there's profit in it.
That's right.
Do you ever walk in your house and there's junk mail on the floor? Like 10-cent
used
sales?
to. Now it's sent to a business manager, but
okay, but it exists.
Of course.
I still get junk mail.
Right.
With a little window in the envelope with plastic in it.
Yeah.
That they put some in the window that looks like $1 or something.
Right.
The idea, I mean, junk mail, physical junk mail, where to get in on the scam, to be suckered, you have to open it and fill it in and send it in.
Send it in.
They might make 10 cents a month,
right?
But it's worth it.
It's worth it.
It's worth it. It's a little more than they're spending. And so as long as and on the internet, there's no physical, you just go like, nah, fucking, and the trick with the media is just put a question mark. You know? Just like this scandal, Robin Williams was actually murdered by Sean Penn.
Right. Question mark.
This gets you out of the liability. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah. Somewhere in the story, you bury absolutely not. It didn't happen. But people go, huh? As long as that'll make 10 cents.
Right. They'll do it.
There's always a profit motive that,
Yeah.
Like going back to Iran for a moment. The last time Iran was a big thing for us was in 1980 when there was the hostages, right? And the Shah of Iran. Nobody remembers this. These, you all think that Paul Simon was in the Beatles, so you're not going to know what I'm talking about,
right?
But there was the Shah of Iran was a puppet dictator that was a direct employee of the United States.
That's right.
And he was ejected by the Ayatollah and by the Iranians because he put incredible suffering on the Iranian people, just American paid for suffering.
Right.
I don't remember why we made money doing this.
Yeah.
Maybe because they had oil. I don't know. But anyway, then there was this thing with the Ayatollah, and then everyone they took hostages. So we were expelling Iranians out of the country. We were throwing some Iranians out of the country. And my mom and my dad, we lived in Massachusetts then, and my mom was at MIT learning computers. And she knew this guy who in Cambridge, he knew a bunch of he just was this guy he reminded me of you a little bit, that he's just a guy he's got his capitalism. He's right there. You know what I mean? Right. So he figured out that there's Iranian families all over Cambridge that are needing to leave this week.
Right.
And they all bought their kids Trans Ams. They all bought their kids that 1978 black Trans Am with a gold eagle that was Burt Reynolds' car.
Right.
In Smokey and the Bandit.
Yeah.
And so he knew that there was all these. So he went around to the houses of people like frantically packing and said, how much for your Trans Am? And he bought like 50 Trans Ams that were brand new for nothing, put them all on a lot. He bought a used car lot for like a week.
And just move them.
Made a fortune.
Yeah.
So as long as people are making money on that, you're just not going to stop it.
Yeah.
It wasn't a great analogy, but that's why the woman with the big tits is just paying off like a slot machine. And she's just being drilled into. I mean, either that or maybe she's flourishing. Maybe it feels good. I don't know. But I have a feeling it's really not fun for her and for the kids in her class and for the teachers and the school and all the local people.
See, this is good because I never think about
lives.
I never think about it like that.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. If you go after, fucking share for her the new lip or whatever the fuck.
Well,
it's a different thing.
I agree, but there's a
I'm not even saying you shouldn't do it.
No.
Because I enjoy listening to you.
No, I understand. But there's a certain thing now there is a new social contract, whether people like it or not. And I think there's a lot of things to not like about it. We've illustrated 1,000 of them. But there is a new social contract where if you get tits that are bigger than anything that anyone has ever seen, and you teach in a school where you're in a shop class, you teach shop, you solder things together. These tits, my shop teacher's name was Mr. Swinovsky. He was a creepy old guy, and this is what every shop teacher should be. He was a creepy old dude who never smiled and would just make a face when we were doing something because we were never doing the right thing. And he just cared about soldering irons and heating them up and just making sure that the little dumb rods that, and we'd put together these little things that it meant nothing. And none of these skills mean anything because you hire someone anyway. It's the least valuable position in a school. And you know that because everything you do is fake. Nobody in shop class goes, you know what, I want to be an architect. It never happens. No. What happens is like, you just make little bullshit things all day. And then these kids kids, the only thing in shop is don't hurt yourself. Mm-hmm. It's the only thing in shop class. Just don't kill yourself. Don't hurt yourself. Please don't embarrass me. Don't go to the nurse. We don't want any accidents. In fact, the first 3 days of shop are him telling you about all the horrible things that have happened to other kids that didn't listen, that talked during the safety precaution. This guy burned his hand. This guy can't use his pinky. Everything's fucked. And it's such a horrible job. It's a bad job. It's not even like biology where at least you can go like, they need to know this. Mm-hmm. It's nothing. And then this woman goes and says, I'm going to get the biggest tit that anyone has ever seen. Not big tits. I'm talking about the cartoonishly biggest tits to the point where it literally, I have to now stand back 1.5 feet from the saw. Yeah. When I'm teaching the kids, because these tits now are in between the kids and these shop bullshit things. Yeah. And it's so cartoonish that she waddles around this room with the big, big tits. And then she said, and we should be allowed to laugh at her because she's done a ridiculous thing. She's done a ridiculous thing, but I get why a trans person would like shop class because it's like we're building things. Right. Everything can be built.
Yeah, sure.
Kids, everything can be built. Yeah. Everything can be soldered. Yeah. And I get it. I totally get it. If I was trans, I would, a class like that to me, I'd go, this is good. I don't want to teach biology. Right. I want to teach, look what we can build. Right. But it's just when you do it with such cartoonishly big tits.
Then the world should have at
you. The world should because you want it. You want it.
Here's what just happened that I really enjoy. Yeah. I'd like to just observe.
Sure.
So the whole time that I was making the point about localized stupidity. Yeah. And the whole time, and I remember the last few minutes this way. It's like we were sitting in this car that you're sitting there, you're just ready to go. And the engine's going blah, 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 blah. And I'm going like, we don't need to do this to people. Yeah. It's too much. It's over proportioned. And you're going, Are you done? Okay. And then you went, you just went this, and then you just did a big bit about this lady.
Because it needs to happen. Yeah. In fact, what I view comedy as is this weird, like, these dumb cunts who walk around houses in LA with sage burning? Yeah, and they go, I'm like getting rid of the energy so the house will sell or whatever, right?
Oh, yeah.
This is what comedy is to me. In a weird way, we need to kind of like, there needs to be a moment where everybody laughs at these big tits. Yes. And then we can all
I could get with that on some level.
Can you just show the tits, Bobby?
What happens
Bobby, show the goddamn tits, because without the tits, it's academic. Louis, this woman did not get those tits to be ignored. She did not get those.
No, but she's got. Okay, put it away. She has body dysmorphia.
Yeah, but. You did.
She didn't want to be on the Tim Dillon show.
Oh, I don't know about that.
She didn't want to be on the Tim Dillon show.
I don't know about that, man. Those you get those to be ignored?
It's not the point. The point is you got something tells you that that's what you need. I don't know. Oh, yeah. But it's a very internal thing. It's I want to be on the Tim Dillon show.
It's an external thing.
Yeah, well, it manifests externally.
Yeah, it's a very external thing, too. I mean, I get what you mean, and I'm not saying she shouldn't be respected.
No, listen, here's the problem, is that once things float up to the comedy,
Yeah.
I get it. And I have, again, my issue is not with you.
No, of course.
It really isn't. Well, of course. Of course. About yourself. No, of course. No, it couldn't be me. I mean, what I believe about comedy is that there is no moral arrow in comedy. There's no moral up or down. There's no moral gravity in comedy. That's what we do. And yes, I do think that on some level it's like you're saging out all the serious shit that got said about her.
Yes.
And people, I'm sure, got really angry on both sides. Well, both sides, the left and the right tit.
Any of the sides.
Yeah.
And either tit.
Either one.